Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Like Nerds. This is my solo episode, if you can't tell, because I'm here solo. I like doing solo episodes probably about once a month for you, just so I can catch you up on the things I have going on and things that I've done recently, things that have coming up, whatever, if there's anything going on in the moment. It's nice to just sit here with you for a few minutes and just catch you up on my life. I did go to WonderCon a few weeks ago, and I was supposed to do an episode right after. Lord only knows why that didn't happen. I'm not sure. Oh, because I went to Disney World right after. It was actually really, really busy back-to-back few weeks. And then I was just gassed by the time I came back home. And I really needed a few days to kind of relax, unwind, watch Harry Potter, and relax my mind. So I went to WonderCon. It was a lot of fun. WonderCon, if you don't know, is a big cosplay convention in Anaheim, California. And it is actually the first year that I got a hotel room. I don't live too far from Anaheim is where Disneyland is, right? So I don't live too far from that area, but I decided to just say, why not get a hotel room for a few nights? Then I won't have any excuse to be late. I can actually be on time or early to something. Of course, I was still a little bit late because that is my middle name. That is who I am. That's part of my soul, being a little bit late. But it was a lot of fun. So I got to meet up with a lot of my friends, and Drew obviously came with me. I think I got there on Thursday, and I checked out on Sunday. The convention itself goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it's nice to get there the day before, just you unpack, unwind, get a bite, catch up with some friends, and then I can wake up early on Friday and get my outfits together. On Friday, I dressed up as Storm, the Storm that I wore to San Diego Comic-Con last summer, the one that Ashlyn made for me. So it's the black, leathery, shiny, not really leather, it's latex, whatever looking material. And it's a one piece with a matching cape and some hardware and a cool crown. I did my best to try and find a brand new pair of contacts because I was a little bit worried about wearing the ones that I had last year, but honestly, it was totally fine. And record time, I managed to put those contacts into my eyes this last convention, because last year it was such a struggle. I've never worn contacts before. I feel like I have hazel eyes, and sometimes they're green, so a lot of people think that I have contacts a lot over the years of my life, but I've never actually put contacts in my eyes before, so it was my first time doing that last summer, and it was a struggle. I hated every second of it. I almost gave up on wearing contacts at all, but I'm glad I did, because it was totally worth all of the pain and the problems it was to put those contacts in, because it really made the outfit. So putting them in this year was so much easier. I don't know why. I just kind of really went for it. I was a little bit less afraid, and I figured out a better way to open my eyelids and put the contacts in, and just epic. I wore them all night again. That costume is such a hit. Everybody loves that cosplay. It was such a great time. You get so many great compliments. I've seen a few other Storms during this convention as well, which was really, really awesome. I got to see different versions of the Storm that I was wearing, because it's the X-Men 97 version. So it's really cool to see that as well. I think he even had this one girl come up to me. She was dressed up as Black Cat, which I've cosplayed as Black Cat before for Monster Palooza, I think last year, 2024 in June, I want to say beginning of June. It was such a last minute cosplay, but it turned out so good. And yeah, this girl, she was so sweet. She came up to me and she was dressed up as Black Cat, and she was like, oh my god, I'm such a big fan. You've inspired me as a Black cosplayer to come out and just really be a little more fearless and come to conventions and dress up. And it was so nice to have that quick chat, because you just never know what kind of impression you're giving out to people, and people can really look up to you in certain ways without you realizing it. And obviously I've been cosplaying for a long time, but I feel like this last year has been the elevated level of my cosplays, of just making sure I give myself more than enough time with all of my ideas, making sure I'm talking to all of the costume designers and people that I know that I've actually become friends with now, to give them enough time to make my fits, to have all my fittings. And then I even now I meet up with Drew beforehand, because the costumes are ready early, and then we can have a full photo shoot of really, really great content for sharing with you. So it was really great that I kind of just decided to really elevate that last year, and I'm seeing the fruits of that labor coming around now. So it's really, really awesome. And I got some of my friends to dress up as X-Men characters as well. My good friend Lauren Chase was here on a couple episodes of the podcast. She's a singer. She's amazing. And she dressed up as Jean Grey. It was kind of a last-minute cosplay for her because she didn't really know what she wanted to wear. She's cosplayed some really great stuff in the past, but sometimes you can kind of get in your head when you're putting together an outfit last minute because you get kind of stressed, and you're like, oh, if it doesn't turn out a certain way. The thing I've learned the most, and I feel like I have to constantly tell myself this as well, no matter what you're going through and the stress and the hassle and the problems you think you're going to have with getting your cosplays together, it turns out phenomenal every single time. By the time you get to the convention, no one's going to look at you and be like, that's not really the right logo, or like, her hair wasn't really styled like this. You can kind of do your own interpretation of just about any cosplay that you want. So she actually looked really good. So I'm really glad that she came out with us. And my other friend, Hannah, who is a drummer in my sister's band and also travels and drums and other bands as well. He's amazing. He's been on the podcast before too. You love him. He dressed up as Wolverine. He looked so good. I was so surprised. That was his first cosplay ever, his first cosplay convention ever. And they really committed to a full X-Men theme with me, and we all looked so good together. So I was really excited to have my friends there with me. It's a different experience when you're cosplaying alone and when you're cosplaying as a group, because alone is so easy because I've done it so many times at this point, and now I have Drew with me, so we have like a really nice flow going. And I guess I always get a little bit nervous when I have like group cosplays because you don't know if people are going to like their cosplay. You don't know if people are going to show up. There's so many different things that could go wrong. But luckily for me, especially because I'm such a nerd and my friends know that about me, when I commit to a theme, like we commit to a theme. Like my birthday party was the Playboy bunny theme, and every single one of my friends showed out to make sure that they were dressed to the nines as different versions of Playboy bunnies. It was awesome, and I love them for that. So I was really happy that my friends got to come with me and join me on my first WonderCon back, and they had a great time. So we had a phenomenal time. And then I met up with Ashton was there, and it's always nice to see her too because she made the cosplay for me, and it's nice for her to see it like in person whenever she gets a chance. It's like seeing your artwork on somebody, so it's really, really nice. And yeah, so then we went to dinner. We went to this like hotel across the street that had this really like bumping bar. Let me tell you, it was like music was fire. Like they were playing some jams. Some people were still in their costumes. I think I saw like Buddy the Elf randomly there. It was so much fun, and I'd never done that before. So it was really, like I say, a good experience and a very good idea for me to have a hotel room there for the weekend rather than going back home and kind of starting the day all over again the next day. And then I could just like go to bed at a reasonable hour, pass out, wake up early. I went downstairs and had some Starbucks, had some breakfast, and then got ready. And it was great. And then Drew came by. We took some great photos. And the next day I wore Counselor Mel Medarda from Arcane Legends. And I have been obsessed with her character for such a long time. Like that first season was such a good season. And I was like, oh my God, who is this? She's stunning. I always try and wear like urban characters if I can. There's not as many that I'm like madly obsessed with because it's also hard to find characters that are amazing, that are hot and sexy, but that are also recognizable and that are preferably black. So Mel Medarda, that was a hit. I had my friend, she actually is a big cosplayer, but she had, I don't know, I feel like I've seen her like with some of our mutual friends over the years at different conventions, but we've never like had like a real proper chat with her. And I had like a nice phone call with her probably about a week or two before the convention because it was a little last minute by the time other things were falling through, and I was doing my best to figure out how I was going to get this cosplay made. And I was talking to her about it, and she's like, lucky for you, I've made this cosplay before, and I have all the materials to make it right now. So, and she wasn't on commission for anything else, so she actually did have time to make my costume for me. And it was awesome. It turned out so perfect. The level of like, it was such a random idea that I wanted to cosplay as Mel Medarda, and it was a Christmas miracle that I managed to do that on a Saturday. Got the outfit done in time. Never styled my hair like that before. Did my own hair and makeup. Everything looked amazing. I'll try and show you a photo or like a little video of kind of walking around. And that day was also the day that they did an Arcane meetup at WonderCon. So we were walking in. I was walking in with Drew, and I saw like Jinx and Vi, and they're like, "Oh my God, haven't seen any Mel Medardas. Like, this is amazing. It's so great. There's a meetup happening. I think it was like 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or something. So we managed to like run around inside a little bit, get some good content for you. That YouTube video is up, by the way. I'll put that link to that in the video bio of this clip, so you can check that out because it was really, really great. I really want you to experience it because it was really a good time. And then we did some fun stuff inside, and then we walked around outside to the meetup. The meetup, like, even thinking about this now, it was so amazing. It was so much fun. I'd never seen anything like this. I've never done like a themed cosplay meetup before. I've just never committed to it. And you never know when they're happening. I guess there's like Facebook groups and shit. Like, I don't know how you find out about these things, but luckily someone had told us the second we walked in, so we got there at a reasonable time to actually make it to this meetup. And there were freaking Jinxes and Vi's everywhere, different versions of them in like different outfits from like season 1 and season 2. It was really, really cool. There was Caitlyn's everywhere too. I mean, some of these cosplayers were insane. I've got some really good photos with some of them, and like they like make their own guns, and their outfits are insane with the capes and the blue hair. It was really stunning. And there was only one other Mel Medarda, and she was really cool, but she did kind of like her own version of it, which again is what I was saying. Like, that's what's great about cosplay is you can really decide what kind of version you want to be of a different character. So she looked great, but there weren't any Mel Medardas that were like specific to the character in the show. And this is season 1 so I had this like white dress with like the black choker like detail. Oh my God, the material was great. It kind of like had a nice little shine to it in the light, and it had like a nice high slits on the side. And then Drew actually had to help me with this. We got gold tape, and the tape didn't really stick very well to my skin because I'm a genius and I put on lotion before I decided to do this, but whatever. So I ended up like having to like hairspray down the gold armor on my body. It just turned out so great, and I was the only one there that was dressed like that. So people get so excited because they're just like, oh my God, let me get a picture with you. And it was awesome. So it was one of those things I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting another cosplay meetup soon. The next convention we're going to, I'm going to be out of town for Monster Palooza. I swear it's slightly different every single year. I don't know why they change the dates on these things. So I won't make it to like the big Monster Palooza this year. Hopefully I can make it to Son of Monster Palooza later in October. But I don't think the next one we're going to is I don't think we're going to do Anime LA or Anime Expo. We might. I think last year we just walked around outside for Anime Expo. So I dressed up as Chun-Li, so I might just walk around outside for a little bit. It's a lot less pressure because that one gets so huge. The level of cosplayers and just people walking around at Anime Expo is insane. Like, it's kind of mind-blowing. I'm like, why are there so many people in downtown LA? So I might do that. Definitely doing San Diego Comic-Con. I still don't know what I'm cosplaying as. So if you have any ideas, I'm on my last little stretch here of needing to figure out what I'm going to wear. I kind of wanted to do Elphaba, but I think I'm going to wait for like LA Comic-Con for that. I don't know. I could do the other version of Mel Medarda with the black dress. Like, it's so hard. I feel like I went so ham last year. I get so hard on myself. I'm like, how do I top myself? How do I get better than me? It's really difficult to figure out well-known cosplays, have enough time to make sure that they're done properly and that they look amazing. And I'm also not overwhelmed because if I have to change my hair or change different styles, how am I going to make sure that I'm not freaking out on the day, depending on what the costume is. I did body paint. Alondra came through a few years ago, and I did Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's great. Body paint just takes such a long time to get so expensive. It's just so time consuming. So I don't think I'm going to body paint in San Diego Comic-Con this year, but I do need some ideas. So if you have any ideas, we'll let a girl know. Holler at your girl. We're probably on our last like couple of weeks. I'm needing to figure it out because it's in July. And like I said, I like to have now, I do my best to make sure it's all done. Then we get our professional photos, get any extra fun content in that as well. And I don't want to be like overwhelmed or kind of freaking out at the last minute when it comes to figuring that out. So I'd love some input because I have not figured this out yet. So that's pretty much everything I have going on coming up. I'm not sure when I'm going to release this episode, but I'm going to Tokyo actually at the end of May for a couple of weeks. And this is my first time going. I've never been. And I feel like I'm getting so many great just pieces of advice and places to go and things to do while there. And like I said, because your girl is an uber nerd, I'm really excited to like check out like I think there's like a Pokemon cafe. You can drive around like the Mario Kart carts in the street and dress up. There's some really cool museums, a lot of great food, apparently tons of great shopping, and yeah, I'm really excited. It's gonna have kind of a wonderful, wonderful time. Hopefully, by the time I come back, I can do another solo episode, kind of catch you up on that as well. Always make sure you're following my socials because I try and post a little bit of different kinds of content on each one. Like my X will be something, my Twitter will be. That's the same thing. I'm dating myself. X and Twitter. I'm like, oh, X, Twitter, same thing, whatever. Tomato, tomato. My like TikTok will be something else. Instagram, like all that jazz. Yeah. So a lot going on. Doesn't feel like a lot going on until it starts to happen. Like next week is Stagecoach. By the time this show airs, it probably will have happened already. But as far as you know, for me, next week is Stagecoach. That's 3 days. And because I'm a cosplayer, I'm like, I figured out a different theme for each day. I've got different accessories. I've got a bunch of different fun, cool outfits. Like I said, make sure you follow all my socials because that's where I'm going to post a lot of those things. And then the Renaissance Fair is back in town as well. So I'm going to do my best to go to that. Also, I think I'm actually going this weekend. And for the first time this season. And I want to go like at least 3 times. Like if I could go different outfit, different theme, a solid 3 times, I'll be very happy. I won't have any problems that I had last year because I lost, I'm not going to say it out loud. There's a YouTube video for this. What happened when I was at the Renaissance Fair last year, but I don't want to go over it and have some PTSD about that right now. Okay. So Drew's like, oh God. Yeah. So I'm excited to go back to the fair and just like drink some mead and have a turkey leg and throw some axes and a bow and arrow and all that fun stuff. So we'll keep you in the loop to that as well. And you can have some fun with me at the fair this year as well. So yeah, that's all. It's always weird to like sit here and just talk to myself. I'm like, I want to do some more solo episodes, but it's always like, how much does one need to talk about? I don't know. Hopefully that's enough catch up sesh for you so far. Thank you so much for coming by and listening and hanging out with me for a little bit. I will see you all very, very soon.